Pendant plusieurs matchs, il y a des ajustements qui se font pendant la série, c'est pas comme en saison. Donc, tu sais, je pense qu'on va voir aussi l'ambiance à Montréal des séries. Je pense qu'on le sent déjà juste à marcher autour de la ville hier. On voyait à quel point le monde sont excités.
Dave, you've been killing penalties your entire career, so you know what makes a power play work. What would make yours work?
I mean, we just gotta.
On draws, being consistent on draws, and in the playoffs, face-offs are obviously extremely valuable. So for us, we got to be really strong on that.
Jake, in your role as a penalty killer and one of the better ones in this league, what are the elements of different power plays you've seen that you think could translate to your own power play that would make a difference for you guys?
It's tough. It's depends obviously on personnel and what you're going with, but. For me, it's the tougher power plays are the ones that keep you guessing. They don't, have one way of scoring. They've got a lot of options and they keep moving around. And so that's always a challenge for us as penalty killers when there's a ton of options and there's a lot of movement out there. But I'm sure those guys will figure it out.
As a penalty killer, why do you think Kobe always find a way to score goals in the power play?
The easy answer is he's got a great shot. But I think when you're a player like him or a top player in this league, they're always a step ahead and they know where those openings are and they know how to get shots through, and he's obviously been so good at that for so many years, and puck always finds him.
Where, if anywhere, do you think that the Capitals might be vulnerable?
We just started looking at some stuff. I think they're just a really well-rounded team, so we're going to have to look into it more and find some answers.
What did you guys do today?
We just, chatted about this opportunity, and it's kind of more of an intro to, what we're going to be doing this next week, and that's about it.
These few days before the beginning of the first round, what does it do to help the guys heal their various ailments that, there's a lot of little nicks and dents at this time, right?
Yeah, I think physically and almost more importantly mentally, it's a bit of a reset. These last few weeks have obviously been quite stressful, and for me personally, just having these day and a half to recover and relax and not worry about checking standings anymore, which is always a treat. That's nice, and then obviously physically for guys, it was a long season. A lot of guys played a lot of minutes, a lot of games, and just to kick your feet up for a day or two, it's gonna be huge.
David just said that one of the biggest thing to manage in a playoff is ups and downs after a win and a loss, especially in Montreal when there will be a win. Is it the biggest challenge for the younger guys of this team manage that up and down?
Yeah, I think within the series and within games, it's about managing your emotions. It's a lot tighter of a game, and mistakes are magnified in the playoffs. So it's about managing your emotions within each game, and then if you lose game one, you gotta snap out of it, get that confidence back, and go right back at it for game two.
Despite the rebuild, there's some core of guys who were part of the 2021 run. What remains from the DNA of that team in this team?
I think for us, it's it doesn't matter what seed you're in, what team you're playing, you're always going to have a chance in these playoffs, and it's going to take everyone. It's from that run, it was every single person contributed in their own way, and it's a similar team in that sense where everyone's got their own role and everyone's contributing in certain ways. So I think the guys that played in that know it's doesn't matter what seed you're in, and everyone needs to contribute their own ways.
And how valuable is that experience to you guys?
Yeah.
There's a couple of things. I think defending, obviously they're a really talented offensive group. They've shown that all year, and they got a lot of dangerous players over there. So I think defensively we've been working on it a lot, and it's really helped us win a lot of games. So that's going to be key. And then probably our forecheck's been probably our biggest weapon all year. So we really try to focus on that.
From what you know about the playoff, what could make the difference for you as a team?
Yeah, every playoff series the difference is always, will and compete, and doing the little things right over and over again. Not giving anything easy to the other team. Obviously, there's going to be ups and downs, and you got to manage those emotions. And it's whether it's during a series, during a game, there's a lot of things going to be thrown your way, and you got to figure it out emotionally and mentally.
I know you guys you weren't on the ice this morning, Nick, but are you guys, as a power play unit, planning on getting on the ice today? Are you doing anything on
Today? No.
Oh, okay.
Today is more of another rest day. So we're going to take – it's nice to have these few days in between games. So, I'm staying off the ice today.
You haven't had a lot of opportunity to practice the power play with the way the schedule went down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
How pivotal is it to take advantage of the time you have now? Because I'd imagine it's something that you don't just fix in the video room.
Yeah, both special teams are going to be really important. I think, they win series and win games for you in the playoffs, and I think we're doing power play tomorrow, and talking PK as well. So they're obviously pretty important. We obviously haven't been the best lately on the power play, but we'll watch their PK, see how we can break them down, and have a plan going into game one.
Since you're out there for the full 2 minutes, you're the right guy to ask, but what do you see differently from both units?
Me personally, I'm on different sides, have different sticks in different spots, so I like being on both. Obviously, I think I can help both units, and just managing my ice time. Obviously, if I'm playing a lot, I won't be out there for the second unit. So it's both units have different game plans. I think the second one's more of a attack mindset, and our first one's been we've been talking a lot and trying different things, and it's something that we have to be better at, and it's going to be important for the series.
What makes the zone entry so difficult in the power play?
The zone entry?
Yeah, in general.
I don't know. I think statistically we're pretty good, but it's teams are pre-scout. Teams have good sticks. They play tight. And I think zone entries are important, obviously, and especially coming into the playoffs. Most teams have good penalty kills, so that's an area we'll focus on going into Wash.
You mentioned rest, that this team had good stretches after the Christmas break, the Four Nations break. Do you feel that this time off is valuable also.
Yeah.
Was there a coincidence there also for those two stretches after the breaks?
Yeah, I mean, we'll take advantage of it. I think there's teams that play tomorrow, and so, we got a couple extra days, and, we'll try to, rest up, recover. We've been playing a lot of hockey lately, so I think these 2 days are nice. But, I think with the way we've come out of long breaks before, I think should be feeling good for game one.
With the position you guys put yourselves in down the stretch, there was expectation and pressure to seal the deal. How's the pressure shift going into the playoffs, into a series where you're playing the number 1 seed from cover to cover from this season?
I mean, it doesn't really change too much. Only the thing that we play the same team over and over again. I think we've been playing playoff hockey. We've been fighting for our lives to get in this position for the last few weeks now. So, I feel like the last 20 games that we've played has really put us in a good spot to feel good going into game one, and obviously playing a really, really good opponent. So we're looking for the good challenge. So I think we can live up to it.
You are the youngest team of the playoff board this year. How can you use that as assets or advantage at your point of view?
Yeah, I think we're a hungry team. I think we have a lot to prove, and I think we've been. Our youth hasn't really shown that much. I mean, there's been points in time where we've been an immature group, but I think we've grown a lot from that. And a lot of our young guys play a lot older than they are. So I'm expecting some good things from those young guys too.
When you say an immature group, what does that mean to you for an athlete or for a team?
Just kind of, you can see, when guys are a bit older and they've been through different situations, how they react. For a lot of these guys, it's their first time going through something like this before, especially in the NHL. So, mentally, you don't know how you're going to react. Physically, it's tough. And, during the course of a game, you make different decisions based off of past experiences. So that's kind of the stuff I see.
You've been in the playoffs before, but what does it mean you get in as a captain, and how does that sort of change how you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's my first time getting in with the normal schedule and normal circumstances. So definitely proud of the group, proud of the way we've been playing, and for me personally, it's been a lot of fun this season, and we don't want that to end. So we're going to be playing our best and coming out strong game one.
Your fans have been extremely patient and extremely supportive. What do you think it means to them to be able to experience this now?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're having a great time. I think, probably most of them didn't know, making the playoffs this year was even possible. So, it's been an exciting time in Montreal. Every game's been so fun at home. They've been really bringing us a ton of energy, and we've been playing really well at home lately. So I think that's not really a coincidence.
If this team was not expected to make the playoffs, then the argument could be made that not a lot is expected in the playoffs, and all the pressure is on Washington. Is that something you guys can use to your advantage?
I mean, they're the 1 seed, and we just snuck in. But I think we don't really feel like we're an 8 seed. I think we've been playing really good hockey. We're a really confident group, and I think any team can beat anybody in the NHL, and that's what makes it great. So we're excited for the opportunity and a big challenge.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, just one about Sagan.
That one to be his last one. So he's been unbelievable for the city and this organization and this group. He's been unbelievable.
We always say that the playoff is a completely different type of hockey. What do you think? How do you think is going to be different? How big is going to be different at your point of view?
I honestly, I don't really know what to expect, to be honest. Like I've played playoff games before, but obviously the NHL is a little bit of a different animal, and you watch it on TV, but it's different when you're actually out there on the ice. So obviously, I assume it's going to be fast-paced, and the guys are going to be finishing hits. It's playoff hockey. It's guys are desperate, teams are desperate, and I'm sure it'll be fun. I'm excited for sure. So.
Kaiden, invariably, teams that get to their own style of play are the teams that win series. How do you get to your style of play knowing that all those chaotic elements come into play of just the atmosphere and the team you're playing against and all that stuff?
I think the style of play is in our favor. I think that's the type of style we like to play. I think you look at a lot of games we played. I always come back to the Florida games this year. Obviously, beat them 4 times, and they're about as playoff kind of team as you can get. And we always play well against them. I think that's our style of play. It's just simple, hard on the forecheck, get pucks deep. Obviously, we have a lot of skill too, but I think that's our brand. It's just the pace when we play with pace, and our forechecks are. And kind of sounds cliche, but that's our style. That's our brand. So.
The fact that they're a heavy team that likes to set up shop right in front of the net there and create screens and whatnot. What's the challenge for you guys to box them out and make sure that that they don't have that sort of impact in front of the net?
I think obviously the big thing is blocking shots. I think that helps when you can get forwards in the lanes or get defronting pucks. You don't even have to block it, just get in the lane, make them miss the net. I think just boxing them out early. Obviously, they have a couple big guys that, like you said, like to get to the net, and boxing them out early, grabbing your guy early, and just doing whatever you can to make sure Monty can be able to see it. So,
Personally, would you say that you're already in playoff mentality, knowing that since you came back, you said that you wanted to be more involved physically also?
Yeah, no, since I came back, that's been the mentality. It's been a fight. It seems like for a while now to get into here, and it's been the mentality for myself. I'm sure for a lot of the guys, it's probably been longer for them than me. So it's been the mentality for a while now, for sure.
Thank you, Kaiden.
Thanks for your time.
a lot of it's execution. You know, being in attack mode, all the little things that add up and can slip over time that we've gotten away from. But, you know, there's no excuse for it to slip in the first place. But, you know we got to be better, and we expect much better.
I mean, there's no excuse, but there's a reason when you don't get on the ice to be able to practice it enough. Obviously, you've been limited in practice time. You didn't get that chance today. How do you guys really attack that over the next couple of days?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we talk about it, meet about it all the time, and, you know, try to get answers about, you know, what we need to change. We also don't want to reinvent the wheel and, you know, try a bunch of different things and then cause chaos. So it's a hard thing to, you know, fix, but when we have our structure and we're good, you know, we have many different looks out of it.
Why are zone entries sometimes challenging in the power play? What makes it tough sometimes?
I mean, teams are good, you know. I think I got to leave some better drops for Suzy and kind of create more space for him, and, you know, just execution things where I got to help him, you know, create more space. But for him, it's tough. You know, I got to clear an alleyway for him, and, you know, teams are so stingy at the line that it's hard to gain the zone easily.
David just confirmed that it was his last season. What kind of impact did it have on the rest of the group during that last push?
Yeah, we knew, you know, it could be his last go at it, and we wanted him to be a part of, you know, a playoff team one last time, and, you know, we're very happy that it's happening.
How much of a role did he play for you transitioning to pro hockey?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty instant with him, just kind of being around him, kind of learning little things about being a pro and, you know, how stuff works. So he's been great to me, and, you know, I got really lucky with him.
What makes him a good mentor? Because it seems the last few years, every new defenseman that come in, he was partnered with Savvy for a while. So what are his qualities there that make him a good partner for a young guy?
Yeah, I mean, he's really patient with, you know, how he's teaching guys and what he's explaining, and just the nicest guy, so funny and easy to be around.
Lane, you've been a target your entire hockey career, I'd imagine. How do you avoid that type of pressure in a game where it seems almost unavoidable, playoff style?
Yeah, I mean, you know, guys have been coming the last couple of games, I feel, and, you know, as the season was going on, I felt it more and more, and honestly, it's more the mental sharpness and, you know, something that slipped a little bit the last couple, but I'm refreshed and I'm, you know, excited for the new season.
You've been able to show what you're able to do on the ice this season. Do you anticipate that the playoff might be more difficult, or you feel it's going to be the same for you?
I mean, I hope it's more difficult. You know, it's the highest level of hockey, and, you know, everything is all poured out onto the ice. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a challenge, and, you know, a lot of guys here are learning, you know, and kind of learning as we go.
You're the youngest group of the playoff board this year in the National Hockey League. How can you translate that to a positive thing for you guys?
Yeah, I think we're going to learn a lot these next, you know, hopefully 2 months, but it's going to be a process, and, you know, having this experience and knowing what it's like to even just get in and how hard it is, it's honestly just the new standard that we're trying to create here.
What do you expect from Ryan Leonard?
Thanks for your time.
You know him.
Yeah.
sais que ça allait être sa dernière saison. Ça fait quelques années que tu le côtoies. Sur le plan humain, quelle relation tu as bâtie avec lui au cours des années?
J'ai joué contre Savvy. Non, ça arrive à tout le monde. Hein? À un moment donné, tu prends une décision comme ça. C'est un gars de famille. Je suis content, j'ai eu la chance de le côtoyer. Il amène beaucoup à notre jeune groupe. Puis c'est pas facile à remplacer cette présence-là. Mais on est content qu'on peut prolonger sa carrière. C'est des moments que nos vétérans, que c'est important d'avoir cette opportunité-là. Fait que non, il a tout fait. Il a tout eu ce qu'il mérite. Il a tout fait ça qu'une première classe, là, la carrière.
Qu'est-ce que tes joueurs qui n'ont pas vécu les séries encore, avec ton expérience de la chose, vont découvrir lundi, qui n'ont pas vu, avec lesquels ils vont devoir gérer un peu plus que dans la saison, d'après toi?
Moi, je pense que c'est les émotions. Je pense que tu vas avoir un regain d'énergie, d'émotion. Puis il faut que tu fasses attention. Tu ne peux pas être un thermomètre. Il faut que tu sois un thermostat. Il faut que tu te règles. Mais moi, qu'est-ce que j'adore des playoffs, surtout avec les jeunes joueurs, comme je l'ai vécu, ça t'amène à un autre niveau. Puis, va chercher ce autre niveau-là. Puis je pense que les émotions, puis qu'est-ce qu'il y a sur la ligne, ça l'aide à t'amener à un autre niveau. Puis habituellement, quand tu atteins ce niveau-là, mais tu amènes ce niveau-là à l'autre saison. Fait que c'est une expérience très importante pour nos jeunes, puis c'est le fun.
À tête reposée, Martin, une fois que le dernier match est joué et que vous avez vécu ce stretch-là vers la fin de la saison, qu'est-ce que ça t'a dit sur le niveau de maturité que ce groupe-là a acquis au cours des dernières années? Puis est-ce qu'il y a des choses qui t'ont peut-être surpris de voir comment le groupe a été capable de réagir dans l'adversité?
Ben moi, je pense, comme je l'ai parlé après le match, c'est comment résilient que le groupe y était cette année. Puis on a bâti une confiance qui est dure à ébranler. C'était 4 matchs difficiles pour les circonstances. Puis les matchs, le Columbus, il arrivait entre nos matchs. Fait que c'était dur de déconnecter de qu'est-ce qu'on essayait de faire. Fait que je pense que c'est sûr, le stress il a monté beaucoup pour tout le monde. Mais je pense qu'à la fin de la journée, on est allé le chercher nous autres mêmes. Je pense que c'est une étape importante pour notre groupe. On aurait pu le faire de bien d'autres manières. On est allé le chercher nous-mêmes. Puis comme je l'ai dit, tu ne pratiques pas ça, ces moments stressants-là. Je pense que ça va nous aider à gérer ce qui s'en vient.
Quand tu jouais, Martin, tu étais sans doute quelqu'un qui a joué avec des équipes négligées, des équipes qui étaient favorites en série. Tu as probablement eu des rôles différents. Maintenant, je pense pas mal négligé selon tout le monde. Est-ce que c'est mieux d'avoir ce rôle-là?
Bien, c'est sûr, c'est l'opinion de tout le monde. C'est sûr, le Washington, moi, c'est la meilleure équipe dans la Ligue là, cette année. Là. On a une grosse... un gros challenge devant nous autres. C'est une équipe qui est forte dans tous les départements. Puis ils ont des bons vétérans, tout. Non, je comprends. Non, moi, c'est la meilleure équipe dans la Ligue.
Marty, you talk a lot about, just to get back to Savard, and you systematically put him, any young rookie defenseman coming into the lineup almost always began with him. You talk about guys who take care of the team, but he seems to be a guy like that. In what ways does he take care of the team? Why did you always put the guy coming in with him?
He actually is an extension of the coaching. He does a lot of coaching, and he calms. He's got a calming presence. So for any young players who come in who might be a little stressed out about playing in the NHL, I think Savvy was a very good sounding board, and he can kind of hold their hand going through what they're going through a little bit, and without giving them all the answers and overcoaching it. But he was, he's a guy that we felt very comfortable when they got paired with him. And he can do so much for the player, and you saw that.
Je t'apprendrais en disant que les gardiens, c'est très important en série. Tu as probablement vécu ça de près. Comment Sam peut rassurer votre équipe en rentrant dans les séries. Comment ça m'amène un sentiment comme ça dans votre équipe?
Ben, je pense que c'est une continuité de la saison. Monty s'est bâti, ça fait 2-3 ans. Moi, je sais qu'il se bâtit comme gardien. Puis l'expérience qu'il va avoir dans les séries, mais tu peux pas acheter ça. C'est une autre étape pour lui. Puis on croit qu'il est capable de faire la même chose. Il nous donne une chance à gagner tous les matchs. Puis c'est ça que ça va prendre. Puis je pense qu'il est capable de faire ça pour nous autres.
Marty, it's such a limited window between now and the playoffs. It might feel long in the lead-up, but how do you turn what's been an ineffective power play into a dangerous one?
Well, you first start, looking at Washington, the way they kill, and where are the holes, and it's just try to make the 5 guys understand that, and they all have to do their part. When the power play struggle, it's not necessarily 4 guys struggling. Sometimes it's just 1 guy, and sometimes 2 guys, and then it's hard to get going as a power play. The 5 guys have to be really doing their job, doing their part, and you don't break down the other PK with 1 guy. It's everybody's got to be part of the equation in breaking that down, and it's not necessarily going to be the same guy who's going to pull the trigger, but we all have to be calculated in setting that chance up, and I don't think we've done a good job at that lately, and so we're going to really dive into that.
Do you feel confident that in that first unit, if it remains intact, that you can find that solution?
I think so. I mean, listen, I have a bunch of cards I can use, Obviously, we got Demidov now. It's a new card. I don't know exactly how I'm going to use all these cards, but we have plenty of cards.
Marty, Kent said recently that you're an eternal optimist. Where do you think that comes from? He said recently that you're an eternal optimist. Maybe you don't agree, but where do you think that comes from? And did you learn that? Are you born with that?
I think that's from my mom and dad, but, I spend a lot. My mom put me to bed way more than my dad when I was a kid. My dad worked a lot, and she would always make me believe that everything's going to be okay, And for many occasions, whether I was cut from a team or I had a bad, game or whatever, she always reassured me that everything's going to be okay.
Marty, when you took this job at the first news conference, you talked about your mom and how shallow said you showed them. You mentioned being cut from a team when you were young, and all along you've been doubted, never drafted. What do you think now that you've shown people that you can coach in the NHL? People who might have doubted you. I mean, your mom would obviously be proud.
That's always that's always part of the fun, right? It's. I don't know. I don't stop with criticism. I don't. That's not what drives me. I think it motivates me sometimes. I don't think it drives me. I think I have my own expectation of myself and what I can be, and I'm not gonna let anybody tell me what I can't be.
What made you confident from day one you could do this?
Because I had experience. I had experience in hockey, not necessarily behind the bench, but I had experience in the game, and it's how you measure experience.
Marty, you mentioned you have a lot of cards. I mean, Demidov in particular, forget the power play, just generally having a card like this arrive so late in the season, Washington doesn't know a whole lot about him. How much of a wild card can he be potentially in this series? Just the unknown element of him.
Yeah, for sure. He's, he comes at a time where we didn't know that we were going to get that, right? There's a possibility. And like you said, they haven't seen him much, but he's a young player, and I don't think they're overthinking him, but I'm sure they'll probably find out a little bit about him during the series, and we'll figure it out. But for me, Demidov is just another part of our team, and I think we're going to try to use him the best we can to maximize what we think he can be, and we'll see how Washington wants to play against that, and who's going to the matchup and whatnot.
Comment tu as évalué?
Juste une.
Hein?
C'est juste une.
Plus qu'une, mais Cole Caulfield, on dirait que c'est maintenant depuis que Patrick Laine est là, il cherche un peu sa place puis les bons endroits où il peut dégainer. Est-ce que cette portion-là du casse-tête, tu as l'impression que vous l'avez réglé ou parce qu'il n'est pas utilisé de façon optimale?
Non, je te dirais, on ne l'a pas réglé avec constance. Constance, on ne l'a pas réglé avec constance. De temps en temps, tu le vois, puis là, puis c'est de continuer à... Là, tu joues contre la même équipe pendant, je sais pas comment long la série va être, là, mais c'est le même... Ça va être pas mal le même scénario que tu vas voir comment ils se défendent. Fait qu'on est-tu capable de créer ces situations-là plus constamment, puis ça a été un gros défi pour nous autres cette année. Des joueurs qui n'ont jamais nécessairement joué dans cette place-là, il faut qu'ils apprennent. Mais je sais qu'on est capable.
Sur Demidov, qu'est-ce que tu retiens de ces 2 matchs en général? Puis est-ce que tu as déjà appris certaines choses que tu ne savais pas peut-être par rapport à lui?
Non, pas nécessairement, mais tu vois ses touches, puis son changement de direction, c'est très, très, très dynamique. Puis je savais qu'il y avait ça. Je ne savais peut-être pas à ce niveau-là. Puis tu arrives de même en fin de saison, puis il est capable de se démarquer de même dans l'espace. C'est spécial. Puis c'est de continuer à apprendre comment qu'on arrive dans notre zone, c'est quoi sa job. Puis, mais un coup qu'on est dans notre zone, il est correct. C'est comment que c'est les séquences, la lame de passer de la zone offensive à la zone défensive. On va continuer à travailler là-dessus avec lui, mais je trouve qu'il est dans une bonne place.
Merci, Martin.
So if you've overcome the odds personally to come this far, and your team has too, would you agree that all the pressure is on Washington at this stage?
I mean, I feel it's the best team in the league. So, you do the math.